Good morning, friends. Let's learn about simple present tense. Here we learn about various situations in which we have to apply simple present tense. When do we use simple present tense? Simple present tense is first used to express general truth. Now, when you have to refer to any universal fact that is applicable everywhere, then we use simple present tense. Second, we use simple present tense to describe a habitual action. When we are referring to a regular action that has become part of our habit, there again we use simple present tense. Third, we use simple present tense to describe what is taking place in the present situation. Whenever we have to refer to an action taking place in the present situation, there we use simple present tense. Fourth, we use simple present tense to describe past events in order to make the description seem more vivid. Here we have to remember one thing. You describe an event that happened in the past, but in order to make that description vivid or lively, you use simple present tense. Simple present tense is further used to express a descriptive action. When we have to narrate an incident or an anecdote, we use simple present tense. Next, we use simple present tense to quote authors or person. Whenever we have to quote any particular author or any eminent personality, we use simple present tense. Lastly, we use simple present tense to express a future event that is part of a fixed timetable. Whenever we have to express a future event that is already fixed as part of a schedule, there again we use simple present tense. Simple present tense is used to express general truth. Let's see with the help of example how simple present tense is used to express general truth. The sun rises in the east. It's a fact known to everyone. This fact is in no way going to change with the passage of time. Humans are mortal. All humans are subjected to the fact called death, and no one is going to live eternally. Water is tasteless, colorless, and odorless. We know that water is tasteless, does not having any particular taste, nor any particular color, or no particular smell. So that is why we say water is tasteless, colorless, and odorless. It's a fact. The sun gives us light. It's a fact that sun gives us light, and it's a universal fact. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. There is a standard point at which the water gets boiled, and it's a fact. Now, simple present tense can be further used to express habitual action. When we are referring to any kind of regular action that has become part of our habit, we use simple present tense. I regularly wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Every day I wake up at 4 o'clock. In order to show that the action is taking place regularly, we have used the word that refer that this is an action that is taking place habitually. She reads the newspaper every day in the morning. So when does she read the newspaper? Every day. Again, every day tells that this is an action that is part of the habit. They read one chapter of a self-help book to stay positive. In order to remain positive, people read one chapter of a self-help book to stay positive. I often go for a walk at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I regularly go for a walk at 5 o'clock in the morning, something I do as part of my habit, and it is evident from the word often. I help mom to prepare breakfast and lunch. I help mom in preparing breakfast and lunch, something that you do along with your mom, and it has become part of your habit. Simple present tense can be further used to express what is happening in the present. Now, for example, when you say the child flies a kite, you see the child doing one action. What is it? It is flying the kite. So you happen to see the child doing it when you're saying this. You're waiting for the train to arrive at railway station, and you see the train coming near you, right? So what do you say then? Here comes the train. The class monitor cleans the blackboard. It's the duty of the class monitor to make sure that he cleans the blackboard every day. So there again you see the class monitor doing his work. The teacher reads aloud the lesson. So when a teacher comes to the class, she takes attendance, after which she interacts with the students, and then she starts the class. And in the process, she reads out the lesson. So the teacher reads aloud the lesson. So how she reads? Reads aloud. So there again, you see simple present tense being used. I share my favorite chocolates with my friends. Here, you see how the friends share chocolates, right? So you see here how a girl has shared her chocolates with her friends. An action that is happening at the time of speaking. Now, simple present tense can be further used to express historic fact. What is this historic fact? When we refer to an action that happened in the past, probably like a war or something you're explaining to someone, but in order to make that interesting and lively, you can use simple present tense. You may describe an event happened in the past, but in order to make the description more lively and interesting, rather entertaining, what you do? You use simple present tense. A heavy fog begins to roll across a battlefield, and soon soldiers are fighting blind, completely unable to see anything or anyone who likely to be just a few feet away. So a heavy fog begins to roll across the battlefield, and soon you find soldiers are fighting blind because they are unable to see their opponents. So that is why it is evidently said that soon soldiers are fighting blind, completely unable to see anything or anyone, who likely to be just a few feet away. So even though the opponents are just few feet away, the soldiers are unable to see the opponent because of the heavy fog. So the description is very interesting, engaging, because we have used simple present tense in order to refer to an event happened in the past. Next, we have descriptive action. Simple present tense can be used to express descriptive action. We are preparing a tea or a coffee, right? It's part of our habit. So here I have given a description on how to prepare 4 cups of tea. So the whole procedure is written here in simple present tense. See how it is. Take a saucepan, add 2 cups of water and 2 cups of milk. Now add 3 teaspoons of tea powder and stir the tea occasionally. Wait for nearly 5 minutes to boil the milk. Serve the hot tea in 4 cups. So here we simply learn the very process of making tea, at the same time, we have used here simple present tense to express descriptive action. Next, simple present tense can be used to express the thoughts of others and eminent personalities. Don't let your happiness depend on something you may lose. So we shouldn't focus our happiness based on something that we are going to lose. You can always edit a back page, you can't edit a blank page. To do some process of editing is only possible in a page that is written badly. You can't make any changes in a page that is completely blank. If you don't have time to read, you don't have time to write. A person who is a good reader will only be able to produce good literature. So only if you read a lot, you will innately have that strength to create something new in the form of writing. No tears in the writer, no tears in the reader. No surprise in the writer, no surprise in the reader. So if the writer is not getting the emotion of the character, he will not be able to portray that in the work. So if the writer has got tears, then the reader also will get that tears. If the writer is able to infuse an element of surprise through his writing, then definitely the reader will also be surprised by that writing. Ideas are like rabbits. You get a couple and learn how to handle them, and pretty soon you have a dozen. What does it mean? Ideas are just like rabbits. You get a couple and you learn how to handle these couple, and finally you get more ideas that help you in the process of doing something new. Simple present tense can be further used to express a future event that is part of a fixed timetable. Whenever we have to refer to a future action, we can use simple present tense. But a future action for which we have already planned or fixed a timetable. So you can't simply use simple present tense for a future action. The action should happen in future, but the timetable for the action is fixed. For example, the school reopens in June for this academic year. So every year school reopens, and exactly in the month of June school reopens, most probably in the first week of June, right? So that is a fixed timetable, which is in no way going to change, right? So the school reopens in June for this academic year. The school bell rings at sharp 8:30 for the morning assembly. So in order to start the morning assembly, the school bell would definitely ring. But there is a time for the bell. The school bell rings at sharp 8:30 for the morning assembly. The first midterm exam starts in the first week of July and ends by the second week. Here again we see a fixed schedule where the first midterm exam happens. So that is why we use simple present tense. The first midterm starts in the first week of July and ends by the second week. Next, the autumn vacation begins on 12th of August. So when do you have this vacation? It starts exactly, or it begins exactly on 12th of August. Our timetable is already fixed. The Christmas vacation lasts only for 1 week. So this year Christmas vacation will only last for a week. So that is again a fixed timetable, right? So these are some examples of how to use simple present tense in various situations. Hope you have understood the concept. See you again.